which is something I really like, and I'll show you how that works. So if you go like this, right? I'm playing it from the session. So I'm gonna loop that first bit. If I play on the piano, no notes work. Which is just wonderful. So you have no idea what's going on, and the key is that this is like untrodden snow. It's like untrodden snow to the ear, because the ear doesn't know what this key is. Is it snowing wherever you guys are? Is it snowing in Canada, for those of you guys who are in Canada? I believe it is snowing in Canada right now. Nice. So anyway, there you go. The key doesn't exist. It's in 76.6 BPM, which is one of my favourite tempos of all time. Again, it doesn't really exist, that tempo, but it does exist as well. And then if I show you what's going on, let me see if I can figure this out. So basically what happened was I sat on this chair. This is my chair, and that's the back of the chair. It's blue. And then the rest of the room is all around here, and all my musical instruments are on the wall or over here. And so I sat on this chair, and Daniel sat on this stool here. It's a good stool, but it creaks if you sit on it. You ready? Here you go. And now it's not going to creak. It's great. Fine. Well, kind of creak. So anyway, that was Daniel's stool, and this was my chair, and we sat here. I spent a lot of time on this chair. I spent a lot of time on this chair in my life. And Daniel sat there, I sat here, and we got this microphone, and we put the microphone over here. And we just recorded the song. It was kind of as simple as that. I'd made this groove that was like a slow kind of D'Angelo inspired thing, and Daniel was in town for a show. He was playing a show. It was a really, really good show if you were there. And I said, Daniel, I've got a groove to play. So I played him the groove, and it was feeling good. And I'd written these lyrics about octopus and want to get sunshine in the night time and moonlight and all that kind of stuff. And I showed him the lyrics, and then there was a section in the middle where I hadn't written the song, which is the "Oh no, stop right," and it took him about 5 minutes to come up with that section. But when he did, it was really cool, and it was like the whole thing just took off. And you know, I'm a pacer. I don't know about you, but I like pacing. So I was pacing around here. He was pacing the other way. We're thinking, well, what could we do? Walking around, and we started laying down vocals. And I don't know about you, but when I start laying down vocals, I just can't stop. I just go and go and go, and they just keep coming. So just to give you an example of sort of stacked vocals, like check this out. So this is some of the stacked vocals. Yeah, up here. This is all vocals. So if I play you these tracks here, it sounds a little bit something like this. All night, star bright, shines down on me. So basically, every single yellow thing, you see, this is the yellow things. Every single yellow thing is one audio file, one moment in time. Here's one. All night, star bright. That's me. Let's see if I can find one of Daniel singing. Is this Daniel? All night, yeah. Star bright. Yeah, that's Daniel. So there you go. Just vocals on vocals on vocals. And you know, we thought we could make the chords pretty colourful, and so we sang as many notes as we could think of. And I was saying, "I'll try this one, try this one, try this one," and he was being really, really patient and awesome with my harmonic sort of. This is nice of him. And so that's what we did. We did loads and loads of stuff like that, and then we went back and recorded the verse. Some of you have been asking, some of you have been listening to the song, been asking, well, what's going on with this whole like sped up, it's a beautiful Sunday morning thing? And I wanted to sort of put an end to this wonderment in a good way. And so is this the bit? Sunday morning. So here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing. I'll show you what's going on. So this thing here, this is. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. That's actually me. That's my voice, and it's been sped up from a slower speed. And let me see if I maybe I can turn it back on. Can I turn it back on? Beautiful Sunday morning. Right. So it's a beautiful Sunday morning. That's the key at which I recorded those vocals. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And then I sped it back up. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And so it has this weird, like, I call it a screal. S-C-R-E-A-L. It's like that funny sound that happens when you speed up your voice. It's all over Jesse Volume 3. It's like a theme of Jesse Volume 3. So I'm squealing the lead line here. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And then you've got this, like, Daniel and Jacob hybrid. Hey thing, which is just all of those guys. They're all just like, heys are different. And then it's like really grouchy and kind of like, oh, it's nice. And then if you listen really, really closely and you read the credits on Tidal, you realise that the almighty legend that is Jojo, the singer Jojo, is also singing really quietly blended in. So this is Jojo.
It's a beautiful Sunday morning.
Which is pretty sick. And then so if you put Jojo with Jacob,
It's a beautiful Sunday morning.
you get this like kind of animal hybrid of like real sick foot vocals and then sped up vocals like squeal mixed with scream or something. And yeah, you get this cool combination. And so that's the sound that you hear.
You see the sun up in the sky.
So like here's Jojo,
You see the sun up in the sky.
which is just so great. She's so good. Jojo's such a good singer.
You see the sun up in the sky.
And then that's me. And so that's 6 of me at the same time, all sped
He's
up.
gonna shadow you.
And then Jojo can actually sing that,
He's gonna shadow you.
which is so killing. Look at that, so clean.
He's gonna shadow you.
Oof. Very tasty indeed. So you got this hey, and then the next one is ho, and then to finish it's how. So that's all good. That's nice and fun. So really it's. Oh, that's a good chord. That's cool. So essentially it's just like lots of voices and this song is almost all just voices and bass and drums in some ways. And then there's occasionally some keyboard moments. All of the trumpet stuff. Some of you have been asking about what the trumpet stuff is too. And I don't play the trumpet. I'm a poor trumpeter. I'm sure many of you guys play the trumpet way better than I do. But anyway, all of the trumpet on this song was recorded by my main man, this legend. His name is James Copus. And he came over, and some of you might have seen this on my Instagram story, but he sat on the stool. Actually, I think he stood up for this. He stood up and the microphone was there. And I was here, and I was basically improvising notes. I was improvising lines, and I would say, hey, do... better. Then he go because he's like got the most amazing ears of all time, and I wanted to show you these tracks. So up here, and so he played trumpet for some of it, but mostly he played flugelhorn. And I don't know if you know about flugelhorns, but they're really great and they're very warm and they kind of sound like human voices. And so all of this kind of like decoration, such as this, is all just kind of stuff that I sang. I sang all the parts, and then he would hear the part, and he'd go, "Oh, you mean burp?" And it was just such a joy. It was like, it was wonderful. And he's just such a good flugelhorn player, and he has like my favourite flugelhorn sound in the world, that's on record. And so you got this mixture between like the voices and the groove stuff, and then you got James on trumpet. Which is, it's so tasty. It kind of adds that thing, you know this album Voodoo, this D'Angelo album Voodoo, I'm sure some of you guys do know. It's like one of the greatest albums of all time. And Voodoo has a trumpeter called Roy Hargrove on it, which he's just like a legend. And so I think this is a bit of a tip of the hat to the late and great Roy Hargrove, because all of this flugel stuff is just kind of filling in the gaps a bit like he did on Voodoo, inspired by Voodoo. So there you go. And so yeah, you got the voices here.
All night, star bright.
Mixed with the flugel here, which I could show you everything at once all the time. And then down here you got all of the groove stuff. So all of the instruments that were not trumpet were performed by me, mostly in this chair. I would sit here and like that blue bass up there. That's the bass that I played on the song. I quite like that. And so this is like. It's like what happens if you divide a beat into 7, you know? So you got and it's a bit weird. And then every other rim you've got like this reverb that happens. So this. See that? And if you listen really carefully, they're actually crickets. Pretty cool, yeah? And they're actually slightly, they're slightly ducking. There's a plugin called One Knob Pumper on the crickets. Just has that like night, you know, it's all night, the lyric is all night, star bright. And what happens in the star bright? Well, crickets come out to play. So crickets are cricketing. That's all very good. So you got this the whole thing. And then suddenly, like, for want of a better word, shit just suddenly gets very real indeed. And it happens at this moment.
Beautiful girl in the whole wide world, and she's mine.
And it's pretty like churchy and pretty stomp clap, you know. And once again, we got like the sped up vocal vibe thing going on. I'd recommend you speed up your voices, by the way. That'll be a good idea. I don't think people do it enough. If you listen to Kendrick, if you guys listen to Kendrick, Kendrick does this, like, I think one of the best guys I've ever heard do it. It's just such tasteful rising of formant, which is what happens when you speed up the voice. It's like the formant goes up. Anyway, so this is actually, this is Daniel, and half of these vocals are sped up. I think these ones are. Yeah, he's squealing. And so what happened with this is I wanted it to sound a bit sped up, so we slowed it down to, I think it was this speed.
The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
And that was what it did. And then we went up and up and up a semitone each time until we were at pitch, and he was just singing the stuff at pitch. He's a really, really good singer. And I mean, I knew this before, but sitting with him in the room and just having him on the chair just put this in perspective for me. It's ridiculously good.
The most beautiful girl in the whole...
So that's slowed down.
The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
So that's really him singing. Like he was like shouting it. It was really cool. So that's his tracks there, and then my tracks down here are good old-fashioned sped up stuff.
The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world, and she's mine.
There's a few things going on.
The most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
That's sped up. It sounds like really weird and kind of squealy down there. And then underneath all of that, you've got this like stomp and clap and all sorts of stuff going on, which is all good. The stomp clap samples were recorded in Manchester. I did a show in Manchester at the end of 2017. Were any of you guys at that show? Because if so, like, you know what I'm saying? And we did this thing on the encore where I asked half the audience to get out their mobile phones, which I never ever do, because I don't really like people on phones in gigs that much. But I did that. And they got out their phones, and then the other half of the room, or yeah, whatever, like they learnt this rhythm, this stomp rhythm, and I taught them this rhythm, and it was like boom, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom. So like everyone's stamping. And you know what happens if you get like 500 people to stamp at the same time? It's like boom, like that "We Will Rock You" stamp thing. It's really cool. And so that's what happened. And so half the room were filming this, and half the room was stomping and clapping. And then I asked them to upload the videos onto twitter.com with the hashtag JCStompClap. And if you go on Twitter right now, if you have lots of spare time, like I do, then you can go and look up that hashtag, and it still exists there. And it's cool because all the videos are there, and you can see all these different perspectives of the same room. And I threw them into Logic, which is what this is. I use Logic, and I compressed them all together, and I took the ones with really good low end. Yeah, I took the ones with really good low end, really good high end, and I separated them out. And then what was cool was when I compressed them together, it just sounded like this huge multi-mic stomp clap sample, because every phone has a different microphone. It's pretty cool. So I had these like amazing stomp clap samples that I still use all the time, because they just sound so good. And I cut up all the stomps and all the claps, and I made it into a battery instrument. And do you guys know about battery? I'll show you what's going on in battery. So this is battery, this thing. And JC Stomp Clap is here. So if I open up JC Stomp Clap, you have all the stomps on here. And then all the claps. And all the claps with and that's all from this one gig in Manchester. So there you go. It was a really cool moment. And it was just the coolest thing of all time, because my audiences often want to be musical and want to make music, and luckily everyone is able to do that, everyone in the world. And so they all stomped and clapped. And so for those of you who are wondering, the stomp clap samples in this song were recorded in Manchester, UK. So that's all good. And so then this section gets kind of hyper, and I did some fast bass stuff. Let me see if I can find a fast bass riff, because you might like that. That's not that fast. Maybe this one's a bit faster. Huh? That was quite fast. And I sat and recorded the bass. That's my favourite one. And when you mix it together, it's like. And then you got these funky chords. Sunshine. And then you just land back on your feet, which is real nice. So anyway, that's a kind of That's a kind of voyage into the song. I thought it'd be fun to just show you guys this, because I'm the only one really who's seen this session. Just to give you some stats, there are 348 tracks in this session, which is not my record. My record is 720. And that was on a song of With the Love, it's a song called With the Love in My Heart. It's from Jesse Volume 1, 2 albums ago. And there are, let me see, 6,476 regions, which is not my record. My record is over 10,000, but that's still quite a lot of regions. Some of those are muted, to be fair, so that those don't really count. And so there you have it. I have 2 more things to say before I leave you to your evening. The first thing is that next week there's a video coming for this song, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm not going to tell you anything about it because it might ruin the surprise, but it's so exciting to have made a video for it. And we filmed it in Montreal when he was on tour there, when Danny was on tour. And that was a couple of weeks ago, I guess. And I edited it together, and it's coming your way, which is really cool. I think that's going to be on Wednesday, so stay tuned. And the final thing I have to say is that this hat I'm wearing right now, and I'm getting been seeing lots of compliments coming in about that, which is just really lovely of you, thank you. This hat is, I'm pleased to say, and this is the first time I'm announcing this is the prototype hat for the JC Bear hat merchandise. So just to explain what that means, this is really the hat, like this. It's the warmest hat of all time, and it's really cool because it's just like, well, it's actually not cool, it's warm, that's what it said. And so this is one way of wearing it, and then the second way of wearing it, wow, look at this. The second way of wearing it is inside out, which is even more warm because it's all the furs on the inside. Isn't that cool? So this is really nice with the nice birds on the outside. And then the third way of wearing it is my favourite. It's when you tie this up like this, and then it dangles at the back like a dreadlock. And so this is soon to be yours. This hat is soon to be yours, which I'm sure you're pleased to hear. And hopefully by the time I go on the road next year, which is in March and April, I'll have some bear hats for you to warm your little cold heads. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. That is that. Bear hats soon to come. Video of Time Alone With You soon to come. If you haven't listened to Time Alone With You yet, go and listen to it. It's out on all of the things imaginable, on all of the interwebs. So go and do that if you feel like it. And in the meantime, you should get some food because you do look rather hungry. And I'm going to get to work on the next single from Jesse Volume 3, which I have not yet finished, but I'm really excited about it. And I'm not going to tell you who the featured artist is because you will freak out too much. And with that, I bid you farewell. And wherever you are in the world, have a lovely rest of the day. And see you either at a show next year or in the random streets of London. Or maybe also see you, I don't know, where else are people seen? On aeroplanes or in movies or something like that. All is well. Okay, word. See you guys soon. Bye.